And this right here will go down as one of my most memorable videos, even if it only gets like 3,000 views. To me, what I got from this album is much more than what YouTube is ever going to give me credit for on this. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're checking out Taylor Swift's Red album today. I'm pretty excited. You guys have seemed very interested in this review, reaction, whatever you want to call it. So I'm excited to check it out. We're going to get into it right now. I'm Steven. This first song is called State of Grace. I think we're going to get that country sound from her. Also, I own this on vinyl, but I've never opened it. Damn, her voice is so good here. Damn, the drums in this are so good. So I can already tell right away based on the start of this album that we're gonna have a great album here. First and foremost, those drums in this track, perfect. I love a great drum beat, especially like that, because the drums were decently heavy for this song. Another thing that I really liked, one, obviously I love the sound from Taylor. It's very close to the sound that I originally fell in love with when I first heard her music, and the lyrical content is going to be deep. I can already tell by the writing in this song. There's nothing generic about it. It's very deep. Some of my most favorite lyrics are, "These are the hands of fate, you're my Achilles heel, this is a golden age of something good and right and real," and the way she delivers that's so badass. Like, "This is the worthless fight, love is a ruthless game until you play it good and right." I just feel like we're gonna get a lyrical version of Taylor that I haven't experienced yet. Even though 1989 was very great lyrically, and so was Reputation, this just feels a little bit different already. I mean, we're only basing it on one song. Now, I will say, I got a couple side notes about this album. One, I told you I own it on vinyl. I never opened it because this came out when I went through a really bad breakup, and I heard the song "We Are Never Getting Back Together," and I knew you were trouble, so I purchased the vinyl, and I could never bring myself to open it and listen to it. So this is definitely going to be fun for that reason. Okay, the next song is called Red. Oh, Taylor spitting bars right there. Is this gonna be my favorite Taylor album? It sounds so good already. Oh my god, I just want to turn this up to like the loudest speakers possible, just have it blare through this house. Okay, so I'm already a fan of this album, like 10 out of 10. We're 2 songs in, and so far the overall vibe of this album is very heavy. It's amazing that she's able to do this country rock blend with sort of pop vocals, but not really. And then you put the lyrics together, and I don't know why Taylor Swift isn't nominated for Punk Album of the Year. Everything about this screams like emotion, including the instrumentation. I think oftentimes we hear pop music sometimes, and you'll hear these like electronica songs with really like sad lyrics, but it's hard to match it because it usually sounds so upbeat. Taylor has no problem here delivering these lyrics over intense instrumentation, and I'm loving it. I could literally turn this up so loud and blast these drum beats all day. Okay, the next song is called Treacherous. Oh, I like that breathy sound in her voice. I'm noticing a very vulnerable side of Taylor here. This song, to me, my interpretation on the first listen is it's about falling in love with someone, even though you know that it's probably maybe not the best thing for you, but it's like all you want to do. And she's talking about being a treacherous slope, knowing that, you know, the end might not be great, but she'd rather be doing that than anything else. And it's a very vulnerable side of Taylor, and I mean, Taylor's always very honest in her writing, but again, we're 3 songs in, this album just feels a little bit different than the previous 2 we've listened to. This album feels more emotionally open, more talking about her actual feelings in this moment, not so much talking about generalized ideas or, you know, in Reputation, there were a lot of different themes covered, but this one is speaking straight from the heart. And I actually thought that some of the concepts she used in this song were really great. She says, "The slope is treacherous, the path is reckless, and I like it." And that's exactly what she knows. She knows that she's falling in love and she could stop and turn away, but she'd rather just follow and see what happens, even if it's not going to be good, or even if she knows that it's not going to be good. But my favorite line, I don't know why it's radiating to me, but two headlights shine through the sleepless nights and I will get you alone. Your name is echoed through my mind and I just think you should know. I don't know why, but that just, I heard that and I was like, oh, I need to look that up because that was sick. Okay, again, I think that we are onto something, and I'm also extremely happy that I didn't listen to this album during my breakup. I feel like it's probably going to be too emotional. However, we're about to jam because the next song is I Knew You Were Trouble, and I love this song. I mean, it's fair to say that that's arguably one of the greatest songs that are ever written in pop history, ever to have ever existed, ever. Everything is great about that song, except one of my ex-girlfriends dedicated that song to me one time, and I'm thinking, no, you were the problem. Don't put this on me. But I always loved that song. It is definitely what made me want to purchase this album when I initially did, because I just feel like there's just something different about it, and it's also the reason I couldn't open it, because I knew there'd be something different about it. I don't have much to say about that song because the song speaks for itself. We all know it, we all love it, we all jam it. It is the breakup anthem, and Taylor killed it on that one. Okay, so up next we have the song called All Too Well, which is track 5, and judging by what I've heard from you guys before, Taylor Swift's track 5 is always the emotional one. It might not be as upbeat, but the lyrics are going to be hard-hitting, so you already know. I got them pulled up right here. We're going to see. Hopefully this doesn't hurt your boy. I don't feel like being sad today. But the song is called All Too Well. Well, okay, Taylor, need to do that. You know what I like about that song? Well, I don't like that it made me cry. But what I do like about it is that, at least in this album so far, the writing is much more direct and less up to interpretation. I feel like, especially like the Archer that just came out, there was a lot of things going on with the lyrics that made you really interpret what was going on. I think where she can put the dagger into your heart is this type of writing. There was no need to guess what she was saying. And she described everything so perfectly. There were moments in this song where, even though like I don't have these feelings anymore, her writing style put me back into that moment, and I was empathizing with her because I've been there myself, line for line with this song. And like I feel like I just know the content all too well. No pun intended. One line, there's a couple lines in here that in particular kind of broke me. One for sure is this, after plaid shirt days and nights when you made me your own, now you mail back my things and I walk home alone. Like, I've been there, definitely. And keep my old scar from the very first week because it reminds you of innocence and it smells like me. You can't get rid of it because you remember it all too well. Her writing style on this song, judging based off what I've heard from her discography, is probably the best I've ever heard. It's so descriptive. It puts you in that moment, which is something that I think when you leave lyrics up to interpretation, it's hard sometimes to put yourself in the moment in which she's writing from. And what I mean is, if you have lyrics that aren't direct, it's going to leave people like you and me to determine what the story is and what we feel about it. But this song, there is no need for that. It is directly related to a very descriptive version of a breakup. And I didn't think, you know what? I'm an emotional dude. And like a lot of the music that I listen to, like oftentimes I can be upset about or cry. One of my favorite bands is Ruiner. They are extremely sad and depressing. And when I see them live, I cry usually. It's very emotional. But sometimes it's not so bad because I'm not really in that space anymore. But it's amazing that her writing style can put you back in that space. So this was incredible, and that's probably an understatement. Ooh, Glad that vinyl is still wrapped up. We do not need this in our lives, Taylor. Okay, the next track is 22. I remember this song, so let's do it. So I always liked that song anyways when I heard it on the radio, just because it was upbeat. And I talk about this a lot, especially when it comes to Taylor, but I sometimes feel like the songs that made it, and I know that she chooses them, but I sometimes feel like the songs that made the singles don't really tell the full story of the album. And I mean, that's a good thing for me. Like I said, this album came out during a breakup. So glad that I did not listen to it, because if I would have judged it based off like 22 and like maybe I Knew You Were Trouble, I would assume that it was a little bit more upbeat, even though it had some emotional stuff to it. But if I would have heard All Too Well, that would have not gone all too well for me. But I always like the song. It's just upbeat, it's catchy, the lyrical content is fun. It's not like my favorite song from Taylor Swift, definitely. I think that sometimes when I hear the poppier sounds of her that I know she's writing to get onto the radio, it sometimes paints a different story from what I'm expecting. It's a radio song, you know what I mean? It's just a radio song. We're here for the content. We want this album content. Give us the content. This next song is called I Almost Do. Not again, Taylor. Oh, who hurt you? I'm just gonna say that I regret never giving this album a chance back in the day. First off, like I'm a little bit pissed off at Taylor today, because like I woke up in a great mood. I was having a great time today, and I feel so beaten down already just off a couple songs, and that's not okay. This I Almost Do song falls in line with All Too Well so much. In fact, I feel like 22 shouldn't have broke it up. We should have had All Too Well go straight into I Almost Do. The whole scene where she's talking about somebody sitting in the chair looking out the window thinking about me, wondering why I never call, wondering why you get no reply. Like, let's face it, I've been on the other end of that, you've been on the other end of that. But again, we get Taylor writing so descriptive, it leaves nothing for interpretation. And damn, like she could hit you right in the feels with this. Like, I wonder who's listening to I Almost Do just banging their head and just like, oh, the music sounds really good. You would need to listen to these lyrics or at least look them up. I do my best of trying to do both. I have my lyrics pulled up here and listen to the song. Once I realize that I'm going to be able to understand what she's saying, I can typically set them down. But I love, again, this rock country sound from Taylor. Very beautiful vocals, but the lyrics are literally killing me. Like, chill. Okay, the next song, it's my jam. We are never getting back together. Well, never, ever getting back together. I like that song. I like the fact that we all know it. It's the anthem. We're all going to scream it at the top of our lungs if we ever hear her play it. I think more than that, in an album that is so depressing, I like that she had a breakup song that was a little bit more upbeat, catchy, and fun. This was the kind of song that you could break up and you feel good about it. You're on like the power side of that breakup. And you're like, no, this is what's happening right here. And you can turn that up as loud as you can and be like, there it is, play it loud. And I definitely think that is one of the reasons that this song was so successful, is just that it's an upbeat breakup song, but it's the one that you want to be on the right side of. Yeah, it's one of the songs that I don't really have much to say about. I've probably played it 20,000 times at this point, and I'm very familiar with it. We all are. So the next song we're going to listen to is a song called Stay, Stay, Stay. Like a folk indie sound. Oh yeah, like a lot.
I was expecting some dramatic turn away. That's when you came in.
I love this country sound from her right now. I like that this one's a lot happier. We needed a happy song. Okay, so I was stoked to hear a happy song. Finally, I think that my poor little body could not handle any more sadness on this album. However, we're not even halfway through yet, and so I'm curious where the rest of the album goes, because with the flow of it, it's been pretty sad. And then we have Stay, 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 which is a happy song, obviously dedicated towards somebody else since the other songs were breakup songs. So I'm interested to see where she goes with the rest of this. But again, her writing style, storytelling, I felt like I was part of that song. Like the scene she talks about where I think we broke up, I almost threw my phone at you, and then blah, 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 blah. You came back in with a helmet on to talk about it or whatever. Like, that is such good writing. That is very creative, very good at being descriptive of the moment, and it can put you right in that place. We've all been there. Well, I don't know if we've all been there, but I've been there. Okay, the next song is called The Last Time. It looks like this is a collab with Gary Lightbody. I don't know who that is.
I imagine you are home on your own, all alone.
I like this build up. So I feel like so far this song is probably Taylor's best vocal performance, and I think that she really brought it out with this collaboration with Gary Lightbody. They traded off a lot of harmonies here, and I feel like if I would have had my headphones on, unfortunately you guys wouldn't be able to hear it then, but if I had my headphones on, you would be able to hear those harmonies exchanging back and forth in both ears, and it means that I'm going to have to mark that because later I need to come back and listen to it again with a little bit more so I can get those harmonies going back and forth, because I feel like that's something that I definitely just missed. My favorite line from this was, you show up at my door with your best apology, but I'm there to watch you leave. Again, you know, this is a very relatable album. I can see why it's so many people's favorite, because it's almost like she's going through all of the things that happen in a breakup. We had All Too Well, which is the reminiscing. We had I Almost Do, which is the I'm about to make this work again, but I can't. I know I can't. And then we have The Last Time, which is, you know, kind of like saying goodbye. But the hardest thing is, again, that's track 10, so there's 11 tracks left. But I really like that collaboration. I definitely need to hear it on better headphones to really enjoy it more, but it's the first time we're listening to it. That's just how it goes. The next song is called Holy Ground. Oh, I love that break. Little pump tune again, Taylor. I bet she was jamming so hard when she made this. Okay, so that was a much more upbeat song. We had these good little drums going on, and I liked there was a couple instrumental breaks there. Taylor sounded really great. I definitely think this probably isn't my favorite song so far. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not really my thing. The lyrics are just kind of okay, and I feel like this song in particular doesn't really have much replay value for myself. Now that may change with a few more listens, but so far it was just okay. And it's one of those things where, you know, you hear a song and it clicks with you or it doesn't. And so far we've had almost 10 tracks that clicked with me. So track number 11 is just okay. Okay, the next song is Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. I'm gonna get my lyrics out for this one. You never know. You're trying to hit me in the feels again, Taylor. I can feel it. I love what you did with both of those lines just now. Ooh, her ad-libs right there. I feel like we just got a stripped down version of Taylor with that acoustic sound. And this is one of those songs where if you're just listening to the music, you might have skipped it. You might have been like, oh, it's a slow song, I don't want to hear a slow song. But I think the lyrical content here is really the star of the show. The overall lyrics were great, but my favorite part was the bridge. And it's just the way that she did the wording with things like distance, timing, breakdown, fighting, silence, train runs off its track, kiss me, try to fix it, could you just try to listen? Like, I just feel like the way that she delivered that on top of that acoustic track just sounded so good and raw and emotional. Again, another sad song from Taylor on this album. The one thing that's interesting is this album is putting me on a roller coaster ride of emotions, because it's like for every happier song or more upbeat song, I get 3 more sad ones. So I don't really know where she's at emotionally or how I'm supposed to feel. But if I could interpret the way the album is laid out, I think that it's putting you on those same kind of emotions that a relationship does when you're in love. You've got sad, you've got breakup, you've got anger, you've got, you know, the like sassy moment, you know, we are never getting back together. Then you have Stay, 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 where I want to be with you forever. And then you get to like Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, where it's like just super sad again. So I'm very interested to see what she does with the rest of this. The next song is called The Lucky One.
You wonder if you'll make it out. Years later, I showed up here, and let me tell you now, you're the lucky one.
Okay, so reading the lyrics and listening to it, it seems like this song was in relation to, and I could be totally off base with this, but it sounds like something about finally getting stardom and fame and all of those things and moving to a big city where, you know, it's everything you ever dreamed of, but it's not quite what it seemed. And it seems as if she's speaking about somebody who had done all those things before and now they're kind of in hiding, and that she understands why. Like, you think you're gonna be the lucky one by making it, you know, this big break and getting all the things you ever wanted. She even says, like, you know, with my name up in lights and everything. But then you realize that, you know, you have all those things and it's not as great as it seems. So the real lucky one is the one who can get away and be away from all those things. Now, I could be totally wrong with that interpretation, but off first listen, that's what I get. The song itself was pretty good. I think that her vocals really shined here. She had these like couple high notes in the chorus that I thought were great. But otherwise, this is a song that I probably wouldn't listen to again. The replay value for me just wasn't there. Now, maybe I'm interpreting the lyrics wrong and one of you, you know, listen to it and this like speaks to you 100%. And that's the reason why music interpretation is so cool. It's subjective. You can listen to whatever you want and everything's going to make you feel different ways. On this album, I feel like I felt just a bunch of heartbreak. And so this song I feel like didn't really fit, but I could be wrong. My interpretation could be totally inaccurate. Okay, the next song is called Everything Has Changed, featuring the homie, Ed Sheeran. Let's listen to it.
18 hours ago, screen eyes and freckles in your smile, and oh, you better know, you better know, you better know, and your eyes look like coming home. Oh,
Open up the door for you.
and I feel hello, and your eyes look like coming.
I like their harmonies together. It sounds really good. So what I'm really glad about with that song is that Ed Sheeran did not come on the track and steal the show. He was there for harmonizational support. I'm pretty sure I just made that word up. So harmonizational support, and it was very much welcomed on this. The two of them, when they sing together, it just works so well. He's got this very like soft, it's like soft but aggressive at the same time, and then Taylor's got Taylor's voice, and the way that those two sounds come together just sound really wonderful on this track. Now, is this what started their friendship, or had they been friends prior to this? You guys gotta let me know in the comment section, because I know that they started like hanging out and like collaborating and stuff, but I don't really know when that happened. I'm working her discography backwards, so I don't know if they collabed prior to this, but I really like that for what it was. Again, I'm glad Ed Sheeran didn't like come on and steal the whole show and do this whole thing and try to outshine. He was there in the best place possible, and I think they worked really well together on this. The next track is called Starlight.
What a marvelous tune, it was the best age. You spent your whole life getting married, have 10 kids and teach them how to drink.
Okay, that was one of those songs that I'm pretty sure I've heard it before. It sounds very similar to a song either I've heard before or I've heard that particular song. And it's very catchy, it's very upbeat. I would say that the chorus is definitely the best part of that. And I would say that the instrumentation of this song is very interesting. We've got country, a little bit of rock, a very modern at that time pop sound, and there's also this electronic like that you can hear in the back, which kind of goes with Starlight, and I kind of get that. But there's a lot going on in the instrument, so if you've never really paid attention to that, I highly suggest going back and listening to it, because there's a lot of genres going on there, which I love a crossover, you know that. Other than that, the lyric about having possibly 10 kids, get married, have 10 kids, okay, Taylor, I see you. I don't think I want 10 kids, but it's Taylor Swift, so you give her what she wants. I thought the song was pretty good. Definitely didn't have the same vibe as a lot of these other songs, but it was still fun nonetheless. It's okay to just have fun on a song sometimes. Okay, the next song is called Begin Again.
Walked in expecting you to be late, but you got here early and you stand and wait. You pull my chair out and help me in.
Good writing again. There it is.
Little kid,
Oh, old school Taylor.
change what you think I'm again.
Damn. We're going through some emotions on this thing. Okay, again, I'm just gonna automatically appreciate Taylor for the writing here, because again, we've gone through a lot of emotions on this album leading us to this song, and this song is very relatable on top of all the other ones on this song or on this album, because Taylor apparently writes her music for me, through her, but it's me. I don't know. But there's definitely something about this song that I feel like a lot of us have been in this position. So obviously the song is talking about her going on a date after having this like long relationship that she broke up with. And, you know, the date arrives on time and he's like not being the way that the other person you were with was, pulls out your chair for you. I think it's weird that you think I'm funny because he never did. On a reverse, you know, I can definitely stand with those lyrics because I was in a long relationship. I was in a couple, and when you know, sometimes if it's not going to work out, things tend to flicker and fade, and things that, you know, used to be your redeeming quality turn out to be the reason that they don't like you anymore. And well, nope, not going to be sad. We're going to talk about this. And so when, you know, making comments like that, you know, that person didn't think I was funny, but you seem to, and it's weird. And I think that I've definitely experienced that, when you get to a point where, you know, maybe it was your personality that was what got you the girl or the girls, and in turn your personality becomes your downfall. But then the next person you meet, the first thing they do is compliment something about your personality or whatever, and you immediately like, oh, this is weird. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy this is about to happen. But the way she was able to write and touch on that was amazing. I love that on a Wednesday night in a cafe, it begins again. And I think that the storytelling here is amazing. And many people probably sleep on Taylor because they feel like they don't like maybe the genres that she explores. They don't like some of the genres in which she creates music. But I feel like if I were to hand somebody the lyric sheet to read and did not tell them who wrote it and did not tell them what it sounded like, I'd be hard pressed to find people that didn't like this album. And we're only on track 16. I know we're probably getting close to bonus territory, or we might already be there. But I just feel like there's a lot of people that would automatically stereotype her music and never give it this kind of chance. This writing makes me realize why she has such a big fan base. Because even if, like, there's a couple songs that, like, I didn't care for the sound too much, but the lyrical content brought the value to it. And I think that's really what Taylor's music is. It's the lyrical content. Sure, we like to jam and scream "We Are Never Getting Back Together," but at the end of the day, the lyrical content's what's keeping us coming back. So that song was beautifully written. Perfect. Next song is called "The Moment I Knew." Did this win a Grammy? I feel like it should have. Stop. Stop it, Taylor! Why you do this? Why? Stop. Stop it! I officially hate you, Taylor Swift. I hate you. Your stupid songwriting. Your dumb, idiot songs. Why are you the way that you are? Why are you writing this? Who hurt you? Why are you doing this to me? Oh man, what a shit song. Crap. Bad quality, terrible audio, stupid lyrics, stupid dumb. Oh man, why? What is the point in that? Why write that? Why you hurt me like that? All right. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's do it. Let's dry these bad boys. My contacts are going everywhere. Okay. I don't even know what part made me so sad there. The lyrics, yeah, that story is on point. Again, I'm sure you've been there. I've definitely been there. The instruments, I'm keeping it together here. The instruments, the way that they came in so intensely when you could feel that she was about to say something that was extremely sad, the way that her voice sounded broken in this song, and the delivery of the lyrics over those intense beats with that broken voice. God, this album just puts me in places I don't want to visit. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be in these moments. I already got through these moments, and I don't even care about the people in these moments, but you're putting me back in these moments, and for that, I hate you. I hate you. Oh, man. Why? 9:50 a.m. on a Friday, a beautiful Friday. The sun's out, and I'm crying because of the lyrics to the song. Again, Taylor showcases here her ability to put you at the scene of the crime. If you do not want to be there, you're going to be there. And if for some reason you've never heard this song, maybe go listen to it and then come back and listen to my very scattered review here where I talk about it, because I don't even want to talk about it anymore. The song is what it was. You saw what it does. This is her best album, like by far, hands down. There's no unnecessary things here. Everything is here for a purpose. Well, maybe like 2 songs. Everything is here for a purpose, and the moment I knew that I wasn't going to like this album is when she did that just now. So the next song is Come Back, Be Here. We got to get through this. I got to get through to the next song.
You said it in a simple way, stumble through the long goodbye. This is when the feeling sinks in. I don't wanna miss.
So, you know what? This album is throwing me all over the place. Come Back, Be Here. She's talking about either that she's in love with somebody or that she broke up with somebody, but now they're far away. 2 things in which I've experienced in my life. This is a song for the experienced. I can imagine if I was 17 and I had a breakup, this would be one thing. But when you're an adult and you've had several relationships, and then you get to this, you've experienced a lot more of the themes that she's exploring on this album, and that song yet is another one. What I like is the instrumental experimentation that's happening on this album, because this was like an acoustic / country kind of sounding song, but there was a synthesizer or an 808 pad in the back doing like this doom, 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 doom. Like, you would not expect that, but like, it's such a creative sound for this song. Okay. The next song is called Girl at Home.
Got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody knows, and it would be a fine proposition if I see you turn on.
Okay, that was a really great song by Taylor, because it's essentially talking about the girl code. So she meets this dude and he is trying to get with her, but she's fully aware that he's in a relationship, or that it's very obvious. And, little things like turning off your phone and now you're in the room with me and you're the kind of guy that makes me sad. And I definitely like that she made this. I feel like there's a lot of dudes out there that are always like scheming on the low. And, it's Taylor Swift. Like, I'm sure that, dudes would be very fortunate to be able to hang out with Taylor Swift and buy her dinner. And the fact that she made a song calling out people that even though they have a girl at home, I just think that's so awesome. And it doesn't really fit the style. Actually, I take that back. It totally fits the style of these albums. She's being very honest, brutally honest, sometimes too honest. Taylor, you need to stop. So I definitely think it is a cool song to make. I think that it's a cool call out song. And now it seems that I'm not going to do the 2 demo recordings. I feel like I already listened to the songs, but I do want to listen to State of Grace, the acoustic, because I think an acoustic one is good. So let's do it.
We are alone, just see you and me. Blue eyes.
Okay, well, after hearing that, I definitely believe that we need an entire acoustic album of this album. If she just did an acoustic version of every song on this album, I want to hear that, because if it broke my heart already, imagine if it was just acoustic. Imagine she's just sitting there on the stage, 1 guitar, 1 mic, tissues for the tears for everyone in the crowd, and she just played the song start to finish. The emotional roller coaster that we would be dealing with Taylor Swift at that moment would be a little bit intense. I did not expect to have such an emotional reaction to this album. I'm pretty good. I get in my feels, but I'm pretty good about looking at the lyrics, feeling them, and not really having too much of a... Typically, my reaction consists mostly of just speaking. I do a decent job at verbally describing the way songs make me feel, the way I feel about those songs. This album, though, definitely deserved to be sitting in my record collection unopened, because I did not need this. This was the saddest thing in the best way. And what I'm saying is, when I say I don't need this, I mean, like, I'm so glad that I did not find this at a time when I was going through this, because I'm sad now. Imagine back then. This thing would have, I mean, I would have wore the record out playing it so much. So I am very fortunate that it is just sitting unopened, unused. This has to be her best body of work. I know I've got a few albums left to do, but I don't know if it gets better than this. There are so many tracks on here with so much content and value, and maybe to an average listener or a casual fan, I'm a casual fan, but I'm listening to these albums start to finish, and I feel like a lot of casual fans don't typically do that. Usually they listen to the hits, maybe one or two tracks that stand out, and that's about it. But sharing this moment with Taylor Swift for the last 2 hours, 2.5 hours that I've been sitting here, it's just so crazy to have such an intimate moment with an artist. And I feel like this is why the album is so much more important than anything else. Oftentimes, I'll react to like a music video, or I'll talk about a music video, and I don't really care too much about doing that, just because I'm there for the song anyways. That's why I like live performances so much better. So usually when you see me doing reaction style videos on my channel, it's because it's a live performance. We're going to talk about the live performance and how I felt about it. But an album is just so much bigger. An album is so important. And this is a story, track by track. Now, I do agree that there were a couple songs, Holy Ground, The Lucky One, maybe Starlight. There were a couple tracks on here that like I'm okay without, or like I could maybe listen to again and try to find more to it than what I heard on the first round. But man, the other 19 tracks, 18 tracks on this album are just like soul crushing, but in the most beautiful way. I have constantly patted myself on the back for making this channel, because the amount of music that I've listened to before was already huge, but I didn't typically listen to a lot of mainstream pop and things of that nature. And man, once like a year ago, once I started falling down these rabbit holes of all these groups, artists, bands, etc., and really starting to learn to appreciate music from a whole nother standpoint, in a way where you appreciate it to be able to speak about it and speak about how it makes you feel, I have found some really beautiful moments in musical history, and this will mark as one of the most beautiful moments in musical history for me. The fact that I own this album, well, one, I own it because I purchased it. Two, I own it because I have the vinyl. And the fact that I never opened it is just like, wow, in 2012, I could have been having this moment. Although I will say that it feels special doing it in this way, where I'm listening to it and I'm spending this time with it instead of like on my phone texting and all this other stuff. I'm literally spending time with this camera, this album, this speaker, this heart, crying because of just how beautiful her lyrics are written. I have definitely underestimated her power. Even with Reputation in 1989, while those albums are absolutely amazing, I did not feel the impact of her writing until I listened to this album. A lot of people said that was going to be the case, but typically, like, if you're a fan of something, I do this too. Sometimes you'll defend anything or you'll hype up anything to get, because you kind of hope people are going to like it. And there was an under hype for this album. You guys were stoked, but you didn't exactly point out just how powerful this was going to be. And how could you? You don't know what I've been through. You don't know me on that level. But I feel like you definitely got a little bit more of me today, because you can tell a story of a person, you can tell a lot about a person just based on the music that they like, or just based on the lyrical content in the music to which they find the emotional response to. That's where someone else is speaking for me at that moment. That is where what I couldn't say, Taylor could put into lyrics and put on this album. And it was an absolutely incredible moment, and I'm so stoked that you guys shared this album with me, because I'm just stoked to have such a cool channel where I can, like, everybody's so open-minded and we can just listen to music of all types of genres and talk about it and have emotional responses with no walls up about, oh, it's this genre, oh, it's this genre. No, we're just having a great time with music, and this right here will go down as one of my most memorable videos, even if it only gets like 3,000 views. To me, what I got from this album is much more than what YouTube is ever going to give me credit for on this. So I absolutely loved this album. I loved everything about this. I hope you guys like this video. I love doing these album reactions or reviews or whatever, because I like to be able to sit here with an album. If you guys like the video, please, it helps the channel out so much. If you like this video, let YouTube know that it was a cool video and that you want people to see it. Don't forget to subscribe. You guys can follow me on all my socials and everything. The links are down below. And I just want to leave you with the fact that I'm going to check out the rest of Taylor Swift's music. And I'm going to do the other 2 albums if you guys like this one. So please make sure to let me know in the comment section that you guys liked it. I hope to see you in the next one. If you want to support me on Patreon, due to the fact that a lot of these videos do get blocked despite how much work, effort, time I put into them, please make sure to check the link in the description. Sign up today. There's some cool membership benefits over there, and I would love to have you over there. Okay, I'm going to go, and I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.